and let's get right into it. So we got Facebook that we about to get live with as well. All right. Hey y'all. Okay. So, I had like 3 coaching calls early this morning, and literally, this question kind of kept coming up. So we got Facebook Live. I don't know what it's telling me to do. I don't know. Anyway, so one of these questions kind of kept coming up. So I wanted to, because I talked about this before on video, but I don't think it had its own separate video. So I said, let me quickly create its own separate video. So we're talking about 3 different dates that are important across the border, and when it comes down to your credit cards. So you have the statement date, you got the due date, and you got the reporting date. Y'all on Instagram, y'all can hear me good? Because I do have in my AirPod, so I just wanted to make sure y'all can hear me good. I already can see Facebook can hear me good. But so just let me know if y'all can hear me. But these 3 dates are very important, but I don't want you to get them confused, okay? So your statement date is typically the first date that you get, right? Typically the first one that you see, when your statement, when your billing cycle closes, when it opens, right? That is typically the first date that you will see, because they're going to send you a statement to your email address or in the mail saying, okay, here is what you've done over this past month. Now here is your due date, meaning this is the date that you have to pay. Okay? Those two are not, I want to say due date is pretty clear, right? Statement date and the reporting date tend to get people a little bit confused. So I'm here to kind of clear it up. Remember, statement date is the date that you get your papers in the mail, via email, it doesn't matter where, but you get that to you, and it's letting you know what you have done over that past month or so regarding your credit, okay? Due date is the date that you're responsible for making a payment, some type of minimum balance, or you're paying it off, whatever your strategy, whatever the strategy is at that moment for you, right? Your reporting date, which is a date that many people don't know because they don't necessarily, and I won't say all credit card companies, but most of them will not include that in your contract. They won't tell you when they're sending off or when they're reporting to the bureaus. That reporting date is super important because a lot of you are like, I'm paying my bills on time, I'm making multiple payments in a month. Why is it that my utilization is showing so high? Like, I literally have paid it off to 0. But you got to understand this. They don't update your credit reports every single time you make a transaction. They update your statement every time you make a transaction, right? So whenever you go and say, for example, if you charge $2 today and you think, oh, I'm going to pay that $2 off tomorrow, it's not going to reflect on your credit report just that fast and that easy. Right? There is a reporting date that is super important because this is how you close in your strategy. Right? Because a lot of y'all are making a payment on your due date and then you turn around the next 2 days and then you run your card right back up and then it reports a couple days later and you like, what? It was just at 0. How the heck? But let me tell you, the reporting date is typically 4 to 6 days after your due date. So you don't want to make another transaction until after it reports because you want to manipulate how the bureaus see your file. This is how you close in your strategy. By understanding those 3 dates, it makes it so much clearer, right? But your strategy is different. And the reason why I say that is why I say I can't just sit here and give you one ultimate strategy, because there's no one ultimate strategy. If you got different cards, you now have to balance between dates. If your cards are all maxed out right now, you have to find those dates, bring yourself down to a healthy level, and then add a strategy. If you have one account, now you got to just balance out that one account until you can get the rest of them going. But the biggest thing that you can do to make a huge difference is by learning when your reporting date is. And they're not going to put that in a lot of times they don't put that in there. I have a credit card and they did not put that in my original contract. I had to call in to find that date. I had another card that actually showed me what my date was, my reporting date was, specifically because with that specific accounts, they had like 6 different dates and I was going to fall on one of those. So they had to let me know which one it was. But for the people that only have one reporting date a month, baby, let me tell you something. They don't always tell you that. They don't always tell you that. So in order to really house in and close in on your strategy, you need to know those dates. But now you know the difference between those two. The reporting date is literally when it reports to the bureaus. Your due date is when the minimum balance is due. Remember, 4 to 6 days typically, this is why you call your credit card company and you find out, right? Typically, 4 to 6 days after that is when it's going to report. Okay, your statement date, you're gonna see that one go here, here, here. Not saying that it's gonna vary, right? But you're gonna see your statement date before you see anything else, if that makes sense. Like when you first open your credit card, they're gonna give you a statement before they tell you this is what you owe, because that's what they're gonna tell you what you owe, like the date of what you owe and when you owe it. I think I said it right. How much in the day of when you owe it, right? And then, boom, your posting date or your reporting date. Hey, call your companies. When do you guys report to the bureaus? Because I want to know how to manipulate that. I mean, I'm not going to tell them I ain't going to tell them I want to manipulate it, but that's what I'm asking for. Right? Their biggest thing is to make money off of you. How can you make money off of them? We changing the game. And I'll say that for the next video. The next video, I'm going to be talking about why financial literacy, why credit, because I finally understand why it has not been taught in schools up until now. We're learning it. It hasn't been taught because there was no need to at that time. Why our parents didn't know? Because they were coming at a different age than us. They that wasn't important to them. And that's why it's so, difficult now to kind of get them on board sometimes, because we're coming into two different ages, industrial age, and now we're in the information age. Understand, we may feel that lag with our children or grandchildren as well as things change. But hey, that's all. I'll say that for the next video. I just wanted to make sure that this video was specific to helping y'all understand statement date, due date, and reporting date. Now go get to work or reach out to me so we can get to work. Bye, y'all.